Facts about every zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be sharing facts about every zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2. Many of you have been asking for this in the comment section. Before we start, the YouTube imp asks you to subscribe. Please click that subscribe button. It's free and it will help me a lot. Let's start by the tutorial level, where we encounter the basic zombies. There are 4 different types of basic zombies: the basic zombie, the conehead zombie, the buckethead zombie, and the brickhead zombie. While most of these basic zombie variants may not differ much in terms of abilities, they do have varying levels of armor and distinct appearances. For simplicity, we'll consider the basic zombie variants as a single entity. Across almost every world, you'll find similar basic zombies. For example, in the ancient Egypt world, they take the form of mummy zombies. Although some worlds feature unique basic zombies, we won't cover those in this video. Now, moving on to the flag zombie. Like the basic zombie, the flag zombie appears in every level, and all of its variants share the same characteristics. Therefore, we won't detail each of them separately. Interestingly, in the original Plants vs. Zombies game, the first level did not feature a flag zombie. However, in Plants vs. Zombies 2, a flag zombie makes an appearance. That just explains that Plants vs. Zombies 2 is not just a complete copy of Plants vs. Zombies original. Moving into the first world, ancient Egypt, we have Ra zombie. This zombie draws its inspiration from the Egyptian god of the sun, Ra. As a nod to its counterpart, the Ra zombie has the unique ability to absorb sun. Considering Ra is the god of the sun, it makes perfect sense. One fascinating fact about the Ra zombie is that it can only steal 5 normal-sized suns. Now going forward, we have the camel zombie. Who do you think is tougher, this gargantuar zombie or the camel zombie? Gargantuar zombie is generally considered tough, but the camel zombie can be tough too, especially if we consider the entire camel as one unit, which gives it up to 2,520 health. This is not far from the gargantuar zombie's 3,600 health, with only a 1080 health difference. This means you really need AoE attacking plants like Bloomeron to easily defeat this zombie. Now, let's talk about the Explorer zombie. Note that Torchlight and Explorer zombie shares the same characteristics. Torchlight is just an enhanced version of Explorer zombie, so they will be counted as one. Explorer zombie has interesting interactions with some plants. When it meets an infinite, the infinite will burn instantly because of the zombie's torch. This makes the infinite vulnerable to the Explorer zombie's attack. However, this won't happen if the infinite uses its plant food effect, as the Explorer zombie cannot burn through infinite's force field and will be forced to eat it instead. Which doesn't make sense at all. Similarly, Charred is another plant vulnerable to the Explorer zombie. Normally, Charred can push back zombies with its leaves when they try to eat it. But Explorer zombie can burn Charred without getting pushed back. Next, we have the Tomb Raiser zombie. This zombie is based on the Egyptian god named Anubis, the protector of graves. The Tomb Raiser zombie will always throw 2 tombstones every time he performs his throwing action. He can only create 6 tombstones before reaching the lawnmower. I know everyone is aware of this trick, but did you know that you can stop a grave from spawning by planting a plant on the tile where the bone is landing? It's a pretty good trick if you're up against this zombie. Next, we have the Pharaoh zombie. Did you know that he will stop for short seconds after his sarcophagus is destroyed? Bro's got some flashback there. I don't know why this happens, but that's a fact for you. Moving to our first gargantuar zombie. We have the mummified gargantuar. Mummified gargantuar's weapon is sarcophagus. If the U manages to freeze or butter the mummified gargantuar just as its sarcophagus hits the ground, a regular mummy zombie can be seen inside. This is really odd as normally there are pharaoh zombies inside the sarcophagus.
Barbecue bacon burger.
This just means that mummified gargantuar's sarcophagus is not pharaoh zombie but a regular mummy zombie. Next we have imp. Imps in Plants vs. Zombies 2 are a common zombie type, and most of them share similar traits. However, some imps stand out as unique variations. But we'll just talk about the basic imps. Here's an interesting fact. Imps actually have the same health as basic zombies. It might be surprising since basic zombies look tougher than imps, but their health is actually the same. I know most of you don't know that. If you just look at the appearance of both zombies, basic zombie really looks more tough than imp. But in reality they have the same health. At first I really thought that imp is weaker than basic zombie. Moving on to the next world, we enter the pirate seas. Our first unique zombie in this world is the swashbuckler zombie. This zombie has a chance of not landing on the lawn, resulting in a failed attempt, and he will automatically fall into the ocean, leading to instant death. However, this occurrence is rare. Additionally, if you use blubber as soon as swashbuckler zombie landed, it can accurately be blown away by blubber. Let's now discuss the seagull zombie. Interestingly, this is the first zombie to utilize a bird as a mode of transportation, being carried by a pelican. One interesting fact about the seagull zombie is that it cannot be directly targeted and killed by the Grim Rose, due to the seagull zombie's height. Additionally, Grim Rose can be easily eaten by seagull zombies, as it can't be damaged by it. When a seagull zombie consumes a chili bean, it releases gas from its head. Next, we have the pelican zombie. When a pelican zombie encounters any filament family plant, if electrified, its pelican will transform into a seagull zombie. Strangely, this makes no sense at all, as it uses the exact same electrocution sprites as the seagull zombie. Now let's talk about the imp cannon zombie. You might have noticed. Although imp cannon has wheels, a spikeweed, spike rock, or cactus can't instantly destroy it. Did you know that there's a glitch where, when a kernel pulp that launches butter in the air and at the same time, there's an imp pirate zombie also in the air, still, it will get immobilized by the butter and doesn't have butter in its head. If you manage to defeat that imp pirate zombie while it's in this frozen state, it will land and walk around slowly without its head. And another thing is, if you manage to spawn an imp cannon using necromancy in the Dark Ages level, the game will end immediately. So next is Pirate Captain Zombie. The Pirate Captain Zombie is one of the zombies in PvZ2 that has a unique eating animation. Instead of just eating the plant normally, he will raise its hook up and down, rather than eat a plant like a regular zombie. When it comes to toughness, the Pirate Captain Zombie has something. Although the Conehead Zombie still has a little advantage, its health levels are almost identical to Conehead Zombie. Therefore, it's essential to approach the Pirate Captain Zombie as you would a conehead. Relying just on a pea shooter may not be a good idea, because it can also summon a zombie parrot that can take your plant out of the lawn. Whee! Now talking about zombie parrot. This is somewhat similar to the fact about imp. You see, a zombie parrot is just a small zombie that can steal plants, like Bungie did in the first game. If you look closely at its health, it is literally tougher than a regular zombie, even though it is smaller. Oh, I almost forgot the rally zombies. Well, rally zombies and flag zombies don't have any difference at all. Rally zombie is just an enhanced version of it. You can't actually tell if there is a rally zombie in a level, because you cannot see it in the seed selection screen. Moving on into Wild West zombies. The first special zombie we can encounter is Prospector Zombie. At the very first level of Wild West, you can get his split pea, a very common counter to Prospector Zombie. Well, we all know that Prospector Zombies can jump at the first column of the lawn. Did you know? Prospector Zombie is immune to any damage the moment he detonates his dynamite. It's like when a plant is under the plant food effect. He can also bypass lawnmower if timed correctly. In this case, he will still reach the first column and walk backward.
Huh?
Another thing is, if he gets hypnotized before his dynamite goes off, he will still go to the leftmost column of the lawn. The second zombie is the pianist zombie. Pianist zombies can cause cowboy zombies to dance and switch lane. If any plant that can knock pianist zombie back, his music will reset. This also applies to Power Toss. It was later fixed in an unknown update. Also, before the 2.1 update, Pianist Zombie could be defeated by the Chili Bean, because the crushing mechanic is basically a high damage eating attack, therefore it is still counted as a bite. When killed by any plant deals electric damage such as lightning reed, Pianist Zombie dies by electrocution just as a normal zombie does, but the piano disappears, which is odd. Lastly, Pianist Zombie can crush a plant directly behind a slider tile he meets. So, it means that the hitbox of this zombie is bigger than the regular zombie. Then we got Poncho Zombie. Poncho Zombie is one of the most annoying zombies in the game. The fact that you cannot see if it got a metal plate on it or not. Then that is how Magnet Shroom comes in. You see, even if you can't see Poncho Zombie's metal plate, Magnet Shroom can still attract the metal plate without hesitation. In the almanac, Poncho Zombie does not wear his poncho, denying the fact that its name is Poncho Zombie. If you think it's not true, you can check it out yourself. Before the 2.4 update, a metal-graded Poncho Zombie could survive a direct hit from a coconut cannon. But if a Poncho Zombie took a direct hit with its poncho still on, it will kill it whether it has a grate or not. This could suggest that its health was always assumed as 250 before the poncho was knocked off, which is patched on 2.4 update. Well, if this hasn't been fixed, then Coconut Cannon is the best counter to this zombie. Though Coconut Cannon is expensive, then just bring many sun-producing plant. Next is Chicken Wrangler Zombie. Chicken Wrangler Zombie can summon zombie chicken if damage enough. Even if he is going backwards under the effects of sweet potato or hot dates plant food, he still releases his chickens in the forward direction. If a Chicken Wrangler Zombie is stunned by any plant, he will die without releasing any zombie chickens. If you see many Chicken Wrangler Zombies in a level, you can also pick Primal Pea Shooter, because it can also kill Chicken Wrangler Zombies without releasing any zombie chicken. Chicken Wrangler Zombie is referred as Chicken Farmer in the game's code. Now moving on to Zombie Chicken. I made a video about the fastest zombie. It was 7 months ago, and Zombie Chicken is the fastest among all the zombies in the game. About 0.46 seconds per tile. We can also make it a lot faster if the chicken zombie is under the speed potion effect. It can increase the speed of it by 150% if the 3 potions are consumed. See, that's a lot faster. Many of you are suggesting what will happen if I combine that, so that's it. Another thing, it's impossible for this zombie chicken to eat a hypnoshroom or impair. Even if there is 100 zombie chicken in a lane, they will all just die.
Huh?
This is also applied to any hypnotized zombie. And next is Zombie Bull. Zombie Bull is just a bull that have the ability to throw imp at the back of the plant he approaches. If you look closely at its eye, it will turn red if it's about to run. It remain red until it throws the imp that it's carrying. There was a bug which the Zombie Bull will launch its Zombie Bull Rider when meeting an empty minecart, even though no plants are in it. It was fixed in the 2.3 update. And next is Rodeo Legend Zombie. Rodeo Legend Zombie can't pass through Infinite. And by that fact, Rodeo Legend Zombie can be infinitely stalled by this plant. The only explanation I can think of is, Rodeo Legend Zombie thinks that there is a plant in front of it, so it will back off and repeat what it is doing. Additionally, it is possible for the bull to throw the imp directly into the player's house, causing the player to lose instantly. Unlike Zombie Bull, Rodeo Legend Zombie can be eaten by Toadstool. It is unknown if this is a glitch or not. If you think about it, Rodeo Legend Zombie is the upgraded version of Zombie Bull, so it must be Zombie Bull who will be eaten and not Rodeo Legend Zombie. So, the world next to Wild West is Frostbite Caves. I first need to mention this one. Cave Zombie. They are the only basic zombies that are immune to any frozen effect. Instead, when you try to freeze them, they just get slowed down a bit. So, if you're thinking about using an iceberg lettuce to freeze zombies in Frostbite Caves, you might want to think twice. Even though iceberg lettuce can still make cave zombies slower, it won't stop them completely. It's not the best strategy to use against them. The first special zombie you'll encounter is the Hunter Zombie. Its main job is to freeze plants. But here's something interesting, the Hunter Zombie can't freeze plants like Cold Snapdragon, which is part of the Winter Mint family. However, it can freeze plants like Snow Pea and Winter Melon, which also belong to this family. This doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I suggest using fire plants instead, they work better against Hunter Zombies. Here's another weird thing, if a puff shroom is disappearing and the Hunter Zombie freezes it right before it disappears, there will be no puff shroom in that ice. This takes me a lot of tries to do. Maybe this is just a visual bug. It's the only way you can have a frozen plant without a plant actually being there. Next up is the Yeti Imp. About a year ago, I made a video talking about the fastest zombie, which the winner is Zombie Chicken. Now, let's talk about its opposite. Did you know the Yeti Zombie is actually the slowest of all the imps? I swear not many people seem to notice this detail. When it comes to zombies in general, it's hard to say definitively who's the fastest or slowest because there are so many different types. That's why you need to pay attention to the little details in the game. Now moving on, let's talk about the Dodo Rider Zombie. This zombie rides a dodo and has a unique ability to fly over certain plants like walnuts. Did you know that the Dodo Rider Zombie is inspired by the extinct dodo bird? In the game, this zombie can fly, which is different from real-life dodos that couldn't fly because they were flightless birds. Another thing, if you hypnotize a Dodo Rider Zombie and it starts gliding, it won't stop even if it spots other zombies. It will just keep gliding to the right until it disappears off screen. That's why it's not recommended to hypnotize this zombie. Also, when a Snap Pea eats a Dodo Rider Zombie, it spits out the imp's head instead of the dodo's head. This is probably something not many players are aware of. Furthermore, if you use Shrinking Violet on a Dodo Rider Zombie, the imp riding it will vanish. This makes sense because shrinking the zombie also shrinks the imp. And if Snap Pea eats a shrunken Dodo Rider zombie, Snap Pea will still throw the imp head, although the imp has disappeared. However, the imp head will appear to be very tiny, much smaller than usual. This is the only way you can see a shrunken imp head. Let's talk about the next zombie, the Troglobite. This zombie always appears with frozen blocks containing Yeti imps inside. If more than one Troglobite spawns in the same lane, their frozen blocks will stack up, and they can push them together. If you have Olive Pit, you can use it against this zombie. Olive Pit is a strong counter for Troglobite because the zombie can't push its ice block past the oil that Olive Pit creates. Instead, the Troglobite will leave the ice block and walk through the Olive Pit without it. This is one of the purpose of Olive Pit. So if you get Olive Pit, use it against this zombie. Now we got the Weasel Hoarder zombie. Well, there is nothing to share about this zombie, because they are just the same like the Chicken Farmer zombie. Just like the Chicken Farmer zombie, if you stun the Weasel Hoarder zombie, it won't spawn any weasels at all. This makes stunning them a very good way to defeat Weasel Hoarder zombie. So Primal Pea Shooter is a good choice for this zombie, cause every attack from it is a stun. And it's just a free plant that you can get in Jurassic Marsh. Now we got the Weasel Hoarder zombie, which only spawns from the Weasel Hoarder zombie. The Ice Weasel is quite similar to the zombie chicken, but it's tougher. The Ice Weasel has 40 health, and the zombie chicken only has 1 health. This means a pea shooter can defeat a zombie chicken with just 1 pea, but it takes 2 peas to defeat an Ice Weasel. And also, we all know that when a zombie steps on a slider, it moves to another lane. However, Ice Weasels can cross over any sliders. It seems they're either too light for the sliders to affect them or they're just incredibly fast. Then next zombies is Sloth Gargantuar. It's a unique zombie because unlike other Gargantuars that usually carry 1 imp on their backs, the Sloth Gargantuar is the only one out 3 imps on its back. So it's at almost 400 health, still not comparable to the toughest Gargantuar in the game. So next world we have the Lost City. We're just gonna skip the adventurer zombies, cause there is nothing special about those zombies. The first special zombie you can encounter is the Pilot Zombie. Here's something interesting, the blubber can blow away any zombie that's airborne or flying. However, it doesn't work on the Pilot Zombie, even though he's floating in the air. Instead of getting blown away, he will just drop down and start walking. When the Pilot Zombie is hanging in the air, he can't eat low plants like spikeweed and spike rock. This also applies to plants like Hypnoshroom, Chili Bean, and Shadowshroom. It seems like he just doesn't want to eat these plants. The Pilot Zombie is similar to the Bungee Zombie from the first game. Earlier, I mentioned that the blubber can't blow away this zombie while he's hanging. But, there is another plant called the Draftidal that can handle him differently. While the blubber can only drop the Pilot Zombie to the ground, the Draftidal can actually blow him off the lawn completely. The reason behind this difference is not clear. Now let's talk about the Excavator Zombie. This is one of the most frustrating zombies in the game. Its ability is quite powerful and can be very annoying. The Excavator Zombie can block any straight projectile coming at him, like the peas from a pea shooter. So, a good strategy is to attack him from behind. The best plants to use against him are lobbing plants, such as the cabbage pult, because he only has defenses in front of him. Here are some more facts about this zombie. Removing the shovel, you can get rid of the Excavator Zombie's shovel by planting a bramble bush on the same tile where the Excavator Zombie is standing. After doing this, the Excavator Zombie will no longer have a shovel. Eating underground plants, even without his shovel, the Excavator Zombie can still eat most underground plants. The game seems to think he still has a shovel, which is why he can still interact with underground plants. This also applies to the guacadile and cactus. Hurricane, a plant will still get shoveled up if you use a hurricane to push back an Excavator Zombie while it is in the middle of digging. This is a small detail that many people might not notice. Parasol Zombie is the zombie counterpart to Umbrella Leaf. If she is hypnotized, she can still block all lob shots for zombies while she is eating a zombie. Also, a hypnotized parasol zombie can reflect all lob shots that are reflected by Jester's zombie, even the fact that Jester is shooting it straight to her. Which doesn't make sense at all. Electrocuting bug zombies will show a tiny zombie inside the bug body pedaling it and powering it mechanically. This suggests that the bug is not actually a bug at all, but rather a vehicle for a tiny zombie inside. However, after a certain update, if Magnetshroom is planted, all of the buckets will disappear, but after the zombie is dropped, the buckets reappear again. Imp Porter has the slowest speed of any imp variant. If the backpack falls on the spike rock, it will instantly destroyed. It will also not damage the backpack. Relic Hunter Zombie bears a strong resemblance to Indiana Jones from the Indiana Jones movies and also walks similar to him. Hypnotized turquoise skull zombies are bugged, as their lasers are fired backwards. He deals high damage to plants, with approximately 4001. Therefore, he can destroy Infinite's shield even at full health. The skull resembles the Crystal Skull from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. When Jetpack Zombie meets a plant, not counting Tall Nut, their flames become blue and flying altitude is slightly increased. Jetpack Zombie cannot be attracted by Sweet Potato. There is a glitch where they can be affected or killed by Chili Bean, Hypnoshroom, Sunbeam, and Garlic. This glitch requires Infinite's plant food effect. Disco Jetpack Zombie resembles the new dancing zombie from Plants vs. Zombies. If blown away at the same time that he is hypnotized, the zombie will simply freeze in midair and will not move until the level ends. He will also have pink bubbles coming out of him, just like any other hypnotized zombie. I think this one applies to every flying zombie. If Shield Zombie is deactivated by EM Peach, the zombie pilot can be seen trying to frantically restart it. Shield Zombie and Bugbot Imp are the only machine zombies that can be devoured by Chomper or Toadstool. The helmet that the pilot wears resembles the one worn by Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph. Bugbot Imps cannot be blown away by blubbers when uncurling or hopping. However, Blubber can blow away Bugbot Imp if it was falling. If a Bugbot Imp falls on top of an iceberg lettuce, he will freeze, but will still be in ball form. The player can hear a siren sound out of a Robocone zombie upon entering the lawn.
The zombies are coming.
It can generate the most amount of sun out of all zombies via Sunbeam. It resembles the new Dancing Zombie's head and dance moves from Plants vs. Zombies. Much like Dancing Zombie's shoes, there are fish hanging inside the feet of the Discotron 3000. Like Dancing Zombie from the first game, if you hypnotizes the Discotron 3000, it will also summon hypnotized Disco Jetpack Zombies. Mecha Football Zombie retains the name of the original Football Zombie, but All-Star Zombie, a zombie based entirely on Football Zombie, doesn't. Gargantuar Prime's arms resemble the telephone pole the Gargantuar carried in the original game. It slightly resembles the original Zombot from Plants vs. Zombies. If the Magnetshroom steal his helmet, the shoulder armor will not disappear. Bowling Bulb's projectile will also bounce to plants if it's reflected by Jester Zombie. He gains a slight speed boost while spinning. Witch Hazel can be considered as the plant counterpart to this Wizard Zombie. While Witch Hazel transforms zombies into puffshrooms, Wizard Zombie transforms plants into sheep. Additionally, Witch Hazel prefers to target him. When a magnetron attracts a bucket or knight helmet and is then transformed into sheep, the item is dropped. He resembles Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, as both are wizards and have similar appearances and scepters. Zombie King can put helms on Ice Block Peasant Zombie as long as they don't currently have one. These zombies are also forced to eat its helmet instead of just destroying the ice block. If the Zombie King has plant food, then the Announcer Imp will visually have plant food too. Announcer Imp is the only imp that cannot be damaged by any plant. Ghost Pepper and Hot Date are the only peppermint family plant that can actually kill Imp Dragon Zombie. Punk Zombie Head cannot be shot to zombies with Magnetron's plant food ability. The only time he can eat a plant while the Punk Jam is playing is when he encounters plants like Grave Buster and Tomb Tangler. He will not push the Grave Buster, for it cannot be on a blank tile or on another tombstone. Her Rainbow cannot protect Neon Bucketheads from getting their buckets and heads, respectively, taken away by Magnetron. It also cannot protect zombies from Sunbeam's plant food effect. Flying zombies blown away by the blubber that entered the Glitter Zombie's rainbow trail cannot be blown away. Even when Glitter Zombie dies, it still cannot be blown away. Even though MC Zombie microphone is a metal object, it's impossible for Magnetron to steal it. Shrinking Violet is an effective counter to MC Zombie because if MC Zombie is shrunken, his microphone attack radius is decreased to 1 by 1, making him less of a threat. Not to mention the fact that he starts taking double damage. When Breakdancer Zombie kicks any zombie, it can be blown by blubber, because it is airborne. Arcade Zombie cannot push the arcade machine past the olive pit's oil. 8-Bit Zombie closely resembles the zombies in the Nintendo DS version of the first game. Most of the plant effect that can do something to zombies will not affect if Boombox Zombie's music is playing. If a Boombox Zombie plays his jam while Ghost Pepper is attacking at the same time, it will still use its haunting animation, but will not deal any damage. This can happen to Celery Stalker as well. When Amberhead Zombie is stalled, frozen, or poisoned, its face can no longer be seen inside the amber. Jurassic Gargantua appears to be a reference to the movie The Croods, as in the movie Grug Crud. He and Roman Gargantua are the toughest Gargantua with a 50% additional health. Jurassic Bully is in reality not much different from your average zombie, being only weaker than a Buckethead. The only difference is he cannot be pushed back by Primal Pea Shooter. When Jurassic Rock Puncher is attacking, Primal Walnut's plant food sound can be heard. His secondary ability is to scorch tiles, just like what Doom Shroom does in the first game. Raptor will only kick 5 zombies before it leaves the lawn. Stegosaurus can only fling zombies 3 times. Pterosaur can carry any Jurassic Marsh zombies except Imp and Gargantua. If T-Rex roars to zombies that are walking backwards, that zombie will turn and walk to Crazy Dave's house. Ankylosaurus cannot push zombies through cactus, making cactus the best counter for it. He is the only zombie that flirts with others, as shown in his almanac entry. When Surfer Zombie enters the player's house with the surfboard, it will disappear. If he is attacked by a lobshot plant on land, the projectiles will damage the surfboard instead. If he tries to slam a spring bean that is about to bounce away a zombie with his surfboard, the surfboard breaks and will not crush the plant. If a lawn mower kills him while he is surfing, 2 zombie heads will briefly appear. Hypnotized surfer zombies will ignore other surfer zombies provided if they haven't reached land yet. His surfboard deals the most damage on the entire game. Fisherman Zombie sometimes raises his thumb when he dies. This is a reference to ending of the movie Terminator 2. Strangely, the only hypnotized zombie that Fisherman Zombie kills is Surfer Zombie, but only when he is still holding his surfboard. He ignores any other hypnotized zombies, or surfer zombies without surfboards, when they face him. Also, when you time it correctly you can make the hook stuck to plant. This happens when you use plant food on Citron at the same time Fisherman Zombie is pulling a plant. You also can't shovel this plant. But the zombie can still eat this plant. So far, Octopus Zombie is the only zombie without visible eyes, as the blue octopus covers them. It is also the only octopus that has moving pupils. The best counter for this zombie is Gumnut, because he cannot throw octopi on gum. And if you don't have Gumnut, Infinite is also a good option, as it can make Octopus Zombie eat its force field. If you digs up a plant before an octopus covers it, the octopus despawns with it. Newspaper Zombie's newspaper lights on fire when hit by a fire-based plant such as Snapdragon. However, this appears to be purely cosmetic, and Newspaper Zombie does not become enraged due to the fire. If Hocus Crocus teleports Newspaper Zombie, he will lose his speed boost. Unlike the first game, his eyes do not turn red when he is angry. For unknown reasons, his sprite sheet features a road cone and a bucket. There's an Egyptian treasure yeti on the Sunday edition Zombies newspaper. When shrunken, Cactus cannot hit its balloon. All-Star Zombie can ram into an evil potion as they are internally classified as plants. If he runs into a Stegosaurus, he will stop charging after being flung. His helmet cannot be attracted by Magnet Shroom, unlike in the first game. There is a glitch where if one plants a blubber when an imp gets kicked, it will loop back to the All-Star for a few seconds before disappearing. He is the fastest zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2. His Caduceus is also capable of healing. Gladiator Gargantuar and Jurassic Gargantuar are tied as the strongest Gargantuar variants in Plants vs. Zombies 2 in terms of health. Codes indicate there is a very small chance for Scorpion Zombie to spawn the Centurion Zombie or Gladiator Gargantuar. The vases fired by the Scorpion Zombie are reused from Basebreaker. Zombie Medusa will petrify zombies that face her, regardless of whether they are hypnotized or not. For example, by abusing Sweet Potato and Hot Date's plant food abilities, it's possible for Medusa to petrify them all. If a Medusa turns around, the other Medusa will petrify her. This makes Zombie Medusa one of the few zombies in the series who can specifically kill zombies who are actually her allies. If she is eaten by Snappy, her head that is shot by Snappy can also petrify most of the zombies. Unlike other general zombies, Roman Caesar Zombie is vulnerable to poison effects. Head Office Imp Gantuar is a swap between imps and gargantuars. Head Office Imp Gantuar's head resembles the imp's appearance during the Big Brains events. His burned animation uses the animation of a burned Big Brains zombie. Gargimp Legal is a swap between gargantuars and imps. Z-Corp Consultant is one of the zombies that can switch lanes, go backwards, or even leave the lawn when there are green quotation marks above her head. Not only that, she can also do it to other zombies. Although the Z-Corp Help Desk laptop is a metallic object, Magnet Shroom is unable to steal it, likely because it is an explosive and would have destroyed the Magnet Shroom. When he walks after losing his chair, he can be blown away by Draftadil. If he was burned while zooming through the lawn, his burning animation will still move as if he is still alive. Grinderhead Zombie is the first brickhead variant with an ability, which is to release a zombie monkey. If his armor is damaged, the monkey will join if it eats a plant. Carny Cannon is not a true variant of the Imp Cannon, as it launches only one imp, then self-destructs, and it shoots upward instead of straight to the lawn. Carny Imp is the only imp in Plants vs. Zombies 2 with hardened toughness. It is actually tougher than a Buckethead Zombie. Magnet Shroom can also absorb his helmet. Despite losing an arm as a Carny Imp twin, both Carny Imp splits will retain both their arms when they split up. When they are buttered, both will have butter on them despite only one butter being shot. If he is killed by a butter, his first body will freeze. You can also use Blubber if it's split into two imps. Carny Imp Split's appearance is just an imp pair imp with headwear. There is a 5% chance for Magician Zombie to accidentally incinerate a zombie while teleporting them. Fire Breather Zombie is the only zombie to have a burning animation when both dying or turning into ashes. Stiltwalker Zombie is immune to most knockback effects. Bowing Seta's attack, which destroys critters like Zombie Chicken and Iceweasel, applies to the Zombie Monkey as well. They lack sprites for being buttered. Nutcracker Zombie can defeat any nut defensive plant in 2 hits. Despite being immune to knockback effects, he can still be knocked back by Spring Bean. He is also the only brickhead variant to be affected by Magnet Shroom, which can disable his ability. Zomboni can be enlightened by Solar Sage, even though he's technically in a machine. As Buttercup and Blockily have larger collision boxes, they can be crushed by the zombie bobsled team if they are on the second tile on the left side of the end of the ice trail. Despite officially being considered big wave beach zombies, Ducky Tubes use the modern-day zombies' appearance. Even if a lily pad on water can be targeted as if it is a normal height plant, Raincoat Zombie can still kick it and the plants on top of it off the lawn. The plants on top of the lily pad can be kicked off the lawn even if they are not ground or low plants. Raincoat Zombies are completely immune to any Phelamint family plants. Unlike most machines, which just collapse or explode immediately, Catapult Zombie presses the red button one more time before it disintegrates. While Bramble Bush does have the ability to instantly kill Catapult Zombie, sometimes it will trap the zombie and damage it over time instead of destroying it. Cardio Zombie has the second highest health of all zombies, only losing to Dr. Zomboss robots. The EM Peach effect only lasts 2 seconds on him, unlike other robots. The cake itself is based on a real-life cake that the PopCop team made in celebration of the 10th anniversary of Plants vs. Zombies. It is currently the second largest zombie in the game, the first being Dr. Zomboss Zombits. It is the only zombie that can give you a gem, but it can only give a single gem, not counting the bonus prize phase in Penny's Pursuit. A Gargantua inside the zombie hamster ball resembles the Gargantua in the Gargantua throwing imp card in Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. He and Punk Zombie are the only zombies that can have their heads stolen by Magnet Shroom. He is the only zombie that can have an arm stolen by Magnet Shroom. Like most other robots, he is immune to Chili Beans and Stunion's stunning gas, though not garlic. It is possible to let the Treasure Yeti eat the player's brains by using Power Toss or Breakdancer Zombie to move him closer to the house. The Treasure Yeti does not drop his lunchbox when he is hypnotized. He also cannot destroy a Spring Bean that is ready to bounce. Instead of going through him, he will just stand on him and eat him until another zombie makes Spring Bean bounce. The Treasure Yeti is one of the few zombies who is immune to the petrifying gaze of Zombie Medusa. Turkey Boss is the enhanced version of Turkey, most plants that can insta-kill chickens with special effects, like Hypnoshroom and Impair, can affect it. Unlike Bonk Choi, Bamboo Spartan can instantly defeat it. There is an April Fool's zombie called Easter Gargantuar. It acts like a normal Gargantuar, but the difference is it throws a Gargantuar instead of an imp. But it's still an imp. If you look closer, it really is an imp that is coded to be a Gargantuar. Zombat Sphinxinator is the first zomboss you can encounter in Plants vs. Zombies 2. It is the only Zombat that does not have two joysticks for Dr. Zomboss to control. Instead, it has a steering wheel. This is the only Zombat that does not summon basic zombies. A zombie bull is seen on the wagon despite the fact that none are summoned in the battle. Every poncho zombie it spawns contains a metal grate under its poncho. Zombat Tomorrowtron is currently the toughest Zombat in the entire game, being almost twice as tough as most other Zombats and about 3 times as tough as the Zombat Sphinxinator. Originally, it was going to be named Zombat Temporaltron MK. A Zombat Tomorrowtron is the only zombie that can destroy power tiles. Zombat Dark Dragon is the first Zombat to be based on an animal. Dr. Zomboss veins are shown through his helmet. The full body of the dragon is only shown as a shadow when it flies in. The boosted Magnetshroom tugs on the Zombat's nose ring, stunning it briefly. And for Zombat Sharktronic sub-attack, it can be stopped if it sucks up a Tangle Kelp. It loses its teeth and dorsal fin when defeated. If you don't place any plant in the lawn, the Zombat Tuskmaster 10,000 BC will keep doing its attacks, including creating more ice block columns until the ice reaches the far left side of the lawn, in which it will stop creating ice until the blocks are destroyed. It was originally named Zombat Mastodonotron. It is the first Zombat that cannot move. When Zombat Aerostatic Gondola is defeated in the last phase, you can see that it is trying to get out due to the fact that it is covered by the Zombat's balloon. If a lawnmower touches the stage of Zombat Multistage Masher, it blows up in a puff of smoke instead of proceeding all the way out of the lawn. Zombat Dinotronic Mechasaur is the last Zombat that you have to battle if you count the order the worlds are created. The Zombat Dinotronic Mechasaur is currently the only Zombat to summon every zombie in its world besides the Flag Zombie variants, as every previous Zombat avoids summoning at least one zombie from its world. It is the only Zombat to have a laser attack. Zombat Catastroliope is the first Zombat in Plants vs. Zombies 2 that can't be battled in adventure mode. Zombat Hot Rodius' appearance and design bear a resemblance to the chariot scene in ancient Rome. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. And see you on the next one.